Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, look at this big 22-ounce bomber. They don't do these anymore, I don't think, guys. They put everything in a 12-ounce bottle and charge you the same price as they did for a 22, I think. This is a 2012 edition of Firestone Walker Sucaba. I've had this beer for a long time, guys. This was not a cheap bottle of beer to buy. It is an English barley wine style beer, and they add cost to it by putting that little shrunk wrap wine bottle type thing on the top of the bottle and put it in a printed up cardboard box. Both of those features add costs to the beer. So, unnecessary as far as I'm concerned. Y'all know that. I've told you that. Wax on the bottle, cardboard packaging, and a shrunk wrap label or foil adds cost to the beer. Unnecessary steps as far as I'm concerned. You'll never convince me otherwise. Over to Beer Advocate, by chance, they have this one listed where yesterday's and the day before yesterday's beers from Star Hill were not listed. So I was hoping they would have one listed, and this is 2012 edition, this is 2019. 7 years gives them time enough for somebody to post a comment on it, don't you think? Yeah. So when I went and looked, they have the 2011 listed under that and the 2014 listed, not the 2012. Imagine that. So, but they do have it 12.5%, which is what this is. So evidently, Firestone Walker's trying to keep the beer ABV in the same range there, guys. When I went over to Untappd, they have the 2012 edition listed. Imagine that. They do most of the time, guys. Not always, but most of the time. They'll list it individual because sometimes the ABV changes from batch to batch or year to year. So, Untappd is the site to go to, guys. Rate Beer and Beer Advocate kind of suck on tit as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be looking at Beer Advocate because they do. They suck on tit, guys. And I said, "Oh, won't you post something about it? Let them know what it is." It's not my job to do that. I know they rely on their subscribers and people posting that, but this beer is 7 years old. Don't you think somebody would have posted it by now? I would. So, probably on the way out. I don't know how much longer they can survive when nobody's posting about new beers being released anymore. So, with that being said, let's get this one opened. And I do like this instead of that tighter than Dick's hat band type of foil like Avery uses, where you can just peel this off and it comes off in one piece. So, at least we're not fighting to try to get the beer open, or a cork in a cage where you got to get the fires a lot of the time. Nice hiss, a little bit of smoke. Into the glass we go. I'm going to pour this straight down the center unless it starts producing a monster head. And we're going to see how this is selling. I've had a lot of people like Rico and some others that have sent me some of their beers over the years, but I bought this one back in 2012. That was before I was getting a lot of beer sent to me. About a half a finger of head on that pour. Deep, rich, red mahogany color. I can see light through the beer, more light through the thin part down here than through the bulb. Looks very much like a barley wine. I didn't get a whole lot of chunkiness or sediment from that, but it may change when I pour the other half a glass from the bottom of the bottle. It may be a lot cloudier since it's 7 years old. So, let's get into the nose and see what we got. Ah, yes. Very sweet smell, like a lot of barley wines have, most of them. Rich roasted malt, hints of molasses. and dark fruit, maybe some plums, dates, raisins, or figs in there. Very nice. 12.5%. I'm not getting a ton of alcohol on it. Smells very, very pleasant, guys. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Very smooth for a 12.5%. Very tasty. Rich roasted malt. These guys do really tasty beers, but they add a lot of cost to that with these boxes and capping the beers. But of course, they probably trimmed that back by going from 22 ounces to 12 ounces. But still, the extra packaging and the foil and stuff that they do on the top of these beers adds cost to it. Somebody is doing those steps and putting them in these boxes, which adds cost to the beer. And I just think it's unnecessary, guys. I really do. There's so many other beers that are just capped and sent out, whether they're barley wines or bourbon barrel aged versions of barley wines and stouts and stuff, that they don't do that. So they don't add a whole lot of those extra production costs. But Firestone Walker is known for putting these beers, these type of beers, in these boxes, and I think they've gone away from the foil on the 12 ounces, but they're still putting them in these little shorter cardboard boxes. So I wish they wouldn't. Save us some money. But they like that nice fancy box, and they can stack all these boxes up. Probably fits into a case a little better and don't rattle around as much. So there's a reason they keep doing it, guys. That is a tasty beer, guys. There's no doubt about it. Very pleasant. A prime example of what an English barley wine tastes like. Probably top 5 in the list. It's very pleasant to drink, very easy to drink. Alcohol is very well hidden. It is a super tasty beer. 12.5%, 42 IBUs, not a huge bitterness for a monster beer of this magnitude at 12.5%. It could be a lot more IBUs to this beer, but it seems to work very well for these guys at 42 and 12.5%. So thumbs up to those guys. They do these beers very damn well, and they've been doing them for a long time. They've been doing it for a long time. As you can see, this is a 2012, and it has cellared extremely well. Most of their beers that comes in these boxes like this, whether they're stouts or barley wines or quads or whatever, usually do cellar very, very well. They're well-made beers, guys. I mean, I cannot take that away from them, even though I fuss about the boxes and the foil on the top like they do, but they do them very, very damn well. So cannot take that away from those guys. If you're a barley wine fan, this would probably be in the top 5 list to pick up. But that's not a cheap bottle to buy. Maybe it's a little cheaper now they're doing 12 ounces. I'd be damn surprised if it's more than $1 or $2 cheaper than a 22 ounce was at the time. But it may be. I haven't bought any of these in the 12 ounce boxes. So with that being said, I'm going to go sip on it for a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back and I've been sitting on it for a while. Not a lot of lacing left on the glass, but it is an exceptional beer. The guys at Firestone Walker produce very tasty beer, especially when you see them done and wrapped in a cardboard box. That means this is a pricey beer usually, but it is usually a very well made beer. They've reduced the size of these, like I said. I tell you this all the time, guys. Y'all probably get tired of hearing me being so repetitive. 12 ounce bottles now on these styles of beer. But I want to let you know that they're not doing these beers in this big box and these big bottles anymore. That I don't think. They figured out that they can put them in a 12 ounce bottle and charge you almost as much, if not as much, for the beer. So it is what it is. I don't control any of that. I just tell you my opinion, and that's what I'm doing here. Very tasty beer. The back end was considerably more cloudier than what I poured originally. A lot of chunkiness in the bottom of the bottle, a big sediment cake in the bottom of the bottle. But this has been in the bottle for 7 years approximately. I don't know whether they did it at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. They just tell us the vintage. So I don't know if they do it once a year or if they do it on a rotating schedule multiple times. I don't have that information. It is a 2012 edition. So not knowing when in 2012 they did it, we're going to say it's approximately 7 years old. And like I said, when you sell a beer, no matter what style it is, it's especially once you get 1, 2, 5, 10 years on it, it's going to have some sediment in the bottom of the bottle. Always, just about 99.9% of the time it is, because there's some stuff going on in there, and especially if you're not having it in the fridge, which this one has been for the entire time, I think. You're going to have some of that coagulation going on and have some chunkiness or a sediment cake in the bottom of the bottle. It's just the nature of the beast, guys. It is what it is. So 12.5%, very well hidden, very tasty beer for an English or British barley wine. Very enjoyable. Alcohol is well hidden, very tasty beer. I would buy this beer again, even though it's a pricey beer to buy, and I don't think they do it in a 22 ounce. I'm not sure about that, but I think they do it in a 12 ounce bottle now. So final chug, and I can see the floaties and the very cloudy on the back end of the pour. Still a very nice, tasty beer. Nothing in the bottom of the bottle that's going to hurt you guys. Very tasty beer. Very tasty, very, very tasty beer. In my humble, honest opinion, other than being added costs to the box and on this one, the 22 ounce, I don't think they do it on the 12 ounces anymore. It is a tasty beer. Probably top 5 in my list to pick up and give it a try. Other than a bourbon barrel aged version of this style of beer, and this one is not, but it is very, very tasty. So with that being said, I am going to give it a 10. Yes, it is a very tasty beer, guys. 100 from me. Over to Beer Advocate, and they don't have the year differentiated. They clump them all together. They say 100. I agree with that. That's what I'm giving it. So, and final check-in, we'll run over to Untapped. They have the 2012 edition listed here, and it's a 4.48. Not the best numbers I've seen from those guys, but enough for me to say it's an A to an A plus beer from those guys. So, very tasty beer. So, if you're into the barley wines, English barley wines, this is top of the list. This is for a non-barrel aged version, it's at the top of the list. So with that being said, it is a 10 from me, 100. So if you've had the 2012 edition, which is what this is, recently, let me know what you think. I think they're keeping the ABV pretty consistent from batch to batch or year to year, according to what I'm seeing on Beer Advocate, because they don't have the 2012 edition and they still have the 12.5% listed. So I'm thinking they're trying to keep that ABV into the same range every batch or every year. So if you had the 2012 edition, which is what I'm having here, and you've sold it for a while, let me know what you think, guys. And until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.